Hytale is redefining and revolutionizing world generation in the blocky game genre with this new world generation engine that it just revealed in a recent blog post. This new generator will allow Hytale to create more purposeful procedural generation to increase world immersion and provides easy in-game generation modding with a node-based system, allowing for modders or artists of any experience level to be able to easily create their own custom terrain in a live environment with real-time changes to aid them in their creations. This blog starts off with letting us know where things are today, with version 1 of Worldgen and how the transition to version 2 will work. Version 1 is essentially a placeholder, meant to give us a world that is playable for now, while V2 is getting worked on. When early access begins on January 13th, the world you spawn into will be completely V1 generation. It will resemble other blocky games you may have played, and we're told to expect bugs in a generation, but secretly, V2 generation will be available in a unique way. Ancient gateways, like the one we saw towards the end of the video Hytale posted when the game got saved, will lead to areas created with V2 generation, giving us a glimpse of what is to come. This is a way for devs to test V2 generation with players now while it is incomplete and allow players to experience it early. Full development and implementation of V2 will likely take a while, so you'll have to patiently wait for your entire world to look like what you are about to see through the rest of this video. Now, before continuing, let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Unified Hytale. Now, a message from today's video sponsor, Unified Hytale. They are a mod platform for Hytale where players can download mods for single player and the ability to install mods with a single click to server host, bisect hosting, and Shockbyte is in the works. If you make mods and are looking for a place to host them, or are just playing Hytale and looking for mods for your world when early access launches on January 13th, go to unifiedhytale.com. Their website and Discord link can be found in the description below. Now, a big focus on V2 generation is intentional design. In this video, you'll see a flyover showing an erosion effect at the transition between the river and forest biomes. This intentional design element represents how a flowing river would erode down the land it flows through over time, wearing down on the hills around it and providing fertile soil for plant life to grow close to its shores. This is applied across all areas of world generation in a variety of interesting ways. In this screenshot, a new pattern scanning system sees a special cave called a deeproot cave and inserts an ash tree above it as an indicator to players that this special cave is located here. You'll see the roots of the ash tree protruding down underneath the cave overhang, adding depth and dimension to this element of the world. Next, you'll see a narrow river, where this pattern scanning system sees the shorelines are close together and allows a fallen log bridge to generate across as a natural crossing point for players to use while exploring. In this next screenshot, we see some cedar trees that have generated as part of this taiga biome. Since the cedar tree is generated here, the game then generates sticks and mushrooms below it as a property of the trees being there. These aren't happy accidents of a broad approach to terrain generation, but intentional cause and effect design. The sticks on the ground are actually there because of the tree being there. We see this in another screenshot where glowing mushrooms generate only in sheltered areas underground. This next screenshot shows us a larger example of this occurring. Here in this plains biome, a dip has generated in the ground. The pattern scanning system catches this, and this meadow of flowers and some trees generate in this lower lying area. Moving on from these generation features, and just as importantly, is how you can actually create these sorts of features yourself. The Hytale developer team actually add all of the tools they use to make the game into the game itself for modders to be able to use to create their own experiences within the game. In this video playing now, you are seeing the node editing tool in action, where properties to terrain generation are being changed and added via these nodes. You will be able to apply these changes in real time to see what everything you change actually does to a section of the terrain to help you better understand the implications of your work and manipulate terrain generation in any way you like. This example is continued in this video of the face of a mountain having its properties changed to be less smooth and flat and have a lot more variation added into the rock formation. Again, all done in real time in-game. These sorts of tools are typically only available to the developers themselves, but in Hytale, anybody can do this in the base game. In the next video, you will see specific properties and rules can be applied to the generation you create. Here you see grass has generated underneath this cliff face, but with the change of a couple nodes properties, the rules have been added to make any grass with up to 10 blocks of air above it will actually generate as dirt instead. In another video seen here, the density in which large trees generate is increased in this biome, while the density of small trees are left the same, giving precise control over how your custom biome generates for players to experience in the mod that you create. Having this level of easy control of world generation means that any person creating a mod for Hytale, if they believe changes or additions to world generation would improve the experience of their mod, will easily be able to do this with very little experience needed. For you as a player, this means more immersive and interesting mods will be available for you to play, and the barrier for entry to make these mods is lower, so more options will be available than other moddable games that you may have played in the past. Next, you see a host of screenshots that give examples of this modded terrain. These examples are not going to be part of the base game, but were made to show just some things that are possible with Worldgen modding. You'll see several examples of sky islands, including some interesting layered ones and more traditional sky islands, and my personal favorite, the jungle arches. There is even an underwater screenshot here showing that this generation can just as much be applied underwater as it can to the land. A video was also included showing a procedurally generated set of rings in an alien world as an example that gets wildly creative and away from what the vanilla generation looks like. After covering what all this new Generation 2 engine can do, several examples of biomes that have already been worked on were provided. We have a plains-focused biome in the Emerald Wilds zone, some rivers going through a taiga biome in the Whisperfrost Frontier Zone, a wider shot of 3 different biomes in the Whisperfrost Frontiers, and what is described as a trunk that was procedurally generated in an unknown area. My guess is this could be some sort of swamp in the Devastated Lands biome. Next are some large standing stones in the Whisperfrost Frontier Zone with some sort of interesting symbol on them. And no, these are not a prefab or a structure. These are actually procedurally generated using this pattern scanning system and other built-in rule sets. Next is probably my favorite one, which is a lush oasis that is hidden in this valley of the Howling Sands zone. Then finally, we have another picture from the Howling Sands that is showcasing these yellow trees that only generate by rivers. If you find a lot of this interesting, this next part will really excite you as either a player or a creator. Simon announced at the end of this blog that Hytale is going to be creating a brand new world designer team and hiring more than 15 people to be part of this team. He explicitly wants people who are part of the community to apply, people that are making mods using this world generation system and showcasing their talents as creators or designers. He has also stated that this position will likely pay about $80,000 to $100,000 per year. And in case you didn't know, Hytale is a 100% remote work company, so you would be able to work this role from the comfort of your own home. This position will be doing some amazing things, and I'm going to quote this paragraph within the article from Simon that says, "We are intentionally expansive, just as we envisioned years ago. Beyond Orbis, we plan to explore alternate worlds new dimensions, and entirely different spaces. These worlds give us room to introduce new blocks, items, prefabs, zones, regions, biomes, NPCs, stories, and gameplay systems. This should excite all players of Hytale, knowing that the team is going to grow with 15 passionate and talented members of the creator community to deliver top-tier updates long into the future for Hytale. As the quote said, they won't just be simply adding new biomes to Orbis, but they will be creating all new worlds and dimensions filled with their own content, giving Hytale an update path and future that leads long into the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to tell YouTube by clicking the like button, and be sure you don't miss more videos and live streams by subscribing to my channel here on YouTube, and follow me over on Twitch at Prowl8413. If you want to support more Hytale content, use code PROWL8413 when you purchase Hytale or anything else in game. I greatly appreciate it if you do. Thank you for watching today's Hytale video, and I'll see you live or in video form soon. Bye-bye.